So it should work fine on most hardware that's kind of modern, that's even semi-modern. I'm using it on like an 8-year-old computer and it still works fine. So this is a big deal for a lot of the community. So hopefully, if you guys join up with some of the Discords we have, you'll see some nice stuff. So JamiSan is playing Kage. Kage is a really interesting character. I've already kind of touched on Lao. Lao is one of those characters that can convert into good damage off of almost any hit. Kage is very different because Kage can convert into damage off of almost anything, but it's never really good. His damage output is fairly minimal for a VF character. Like, you're gonna see JamiSan is going instead for like reset. Now that will result in frame advantage when Snake does tech roll, when WhiteFangViking tech roll. So JamiSan is going for a totally different kind of style, and that kind of is necessary when you're playing Kage. Kage is one of those characters that I think, look, he's going for these back turn mix-ups. Now WhiteFangViking is no longer tech rolling. So now all of a sudden JamiSan's options will start up. It'll start opening up, but only if he ends up taking advantage. There you go. WhiteFangViking, again, like I said, Lao just converts off of like almost anything. So almost anything knocks you up. Almost anything will get you extra hits. Lao is a very strong character for that reason, and actually a very good, very solid new player character. If you're not the fan of a simpler character like Jeffrey, I would say Lao is actually a really good new character for somebody who will go. Go and Jeffrey are really simple. Lao, I would say, is a little more complex, but has a lot of really solid options. And as you grow as a player, you'll actually end up being able to do more cool stuff with Lao. Now, see, that combo specifically that JamiSan did at the end only works if you don't tech roll. That's technically not really a combo. It's what we call a green combo, because in training mode, the counter turns green if you're hitting people at a time when they could have teched to get out. There it is. So you're going to see that there are some green combos that Kage will be able to take advantage of, specifically because every time he knocks you down, he sets up a situation where you really don't want to tech roll and you don't want to get back in the fight. That's another reason why you don't see a ton of pounces. Notice how JamiSan was able to roll out of the way and easily punish. There's nothing you can do about that. If your pounce whiffs, you'll almost always take pretty significant damage. So JamiSan took that first game, but it was pretty close. I'm pretty excited to see the way that this turns out.
Once again, guys, big shouts to all the homies restreaming right now. Like, you can see Shadosha's channel right there. Like, he's blowing up the RTMPP. Let's go, son. Check him out, twitch.tv, Shadosha.
Shadosha is a great streamer.
Yeah,
absolutely check him out.
You can also see Adam Yuki. Like, he's definitely blowing up the restream. I just told him how to get it going. He's figuring out how to work VLC, but you can see, like, he'll figure it out how to resize it soon. He'll figure it out. But yeah, check him out, twitch.tv/Adam Yuki.
Adam's a great player, one of the top Jeffreys we ever had in America. Really one of the better Western players, and he's coming back into the game after like a really long hiatus, so it's really nice to watch him streaming because you get to see him kind of learning the newer version of the game, but also just like really solidly, claiming his like space here as a good player. Now I kind of slowed down there for a second because I forgot who we were talking about, but it is WhiteFangViking is definitely Snake Boss because Taka Arashi is one of his secondaries. Taka is a really interesting character and a very weird character. You might say that he's like a scrub killer kind of character because if you don't know anything about him, you will absolutely have no idea what he's doing. The reason why is because I was talking about weight classes before, where on the one end of the spectrum that we were talking about with Pi, she goes flying whenever you knock her down, right? Taka Arashi barely moves at all when you knock him down, and in fact, he doesn't ever get juggled. The best juggles you can get are ones where he just kind of like falls backwards and then lands on the floor. And in that case, you really have to know what combo you can do to maximize your damage. Otherwise, you're really going to be doing, I don't know, like a quarter of the amount of damage that you'll do to another character. He's setting up for the wall kick. Yeah, nice. Nice, he didn't want to get it. Notice that? That's another cool thing. A lot of throws work differently on Taka as well. You can see how slow it took for him to throw that big heavy sumo boy over his shoulder. It was pretty good. One of the coolest things I think about VF is Taka specifically. and the way that he like that they handle him. I like this like VF3 costume that JamiSan is using with the chainmail shirt. It's a big throwback for Kage. Oh, he gets the wall throw. That's a regular throw, but it interacts differently with the wall. That's a punish. JamiSan is actually showing he really knows his matchup pretty well. I like that. Nice. JamiSan's really not flustered at all. He's playing really well right now. To play against Taka is actually it can be pretty challenging if you don't have specific really good tools to beat him. And Kage has good tools on everybody, but like I said, his damage is so low that if you're a Kage player and you're playing, that was pretty good, and you're playing against Taka, you're probably, oh, he went for it again. You're probably worried that like he doesn't have to do as much work to do the damage that you have to do to him. That being said, Jami was not worried at all. He took that one pretty handily. Glad to see it because he was one of the players that could not play in the PlayStation tournament that we had last week. Again, Xbox and PlayStation has like these different communities, and it's really nice to see that there's some overlap, but it's also really nice to see that everybody can kind of get their representation in. So what we'll do now is I think we're ready to start. Yeah, we're ready to start round 2 because round 1 losers can't start until round 2 winners takes place, I think, just because of the bye situation. But I'll double check that as soon as this bracket gets updated. But I'm fairly certain that's the way it's going to work. In which case, I'm going to need GT on deck and Lord Mugen. So let me get Gentleman Thief and